Hello, welcome to the Retired Farm Boy channel. My name is Jeff. In today's video, I wanted to pass along my thoughts on the withdrawal percentage from retirement savings that my wife and I plan on doing. There's a lot of videos out there. I'm sure you've probably even watched a few of them that talk a whole lot about how to pull money from your retirement savings when you go. There's all kinds of different people that will support the 4% rule. Dave Ramsey has, whether you give him blame or credit for this, he has an 8% rule. So the 4% rule and the 8% rule basically work the same in that you pull that percentage from your retirement savings your first year. And then from that year on, you would take the inflation amount, add that dollar amount to that number, and then withdraw that amount. And you would continue to do that 3 years, third year, fourth year, all the way to 30 years. Keep in mind, these are 30-year budgeting strategies. The 4% rule in particular came about just to try to answer that question conservatively, I might add, I think, of will I have enough money to get me through my life? And how much money do I need to retire? Those are questions that are always top of the list, probably for retirees. And a strategy around trying to solve that problem, probably doesn't exist, because everybody's retirement is different, and you need to take a look at that. So the problem with Dave Ramsey's 8% that bothers me a little bit, and I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, believe me, been watching him for years, is that he's not taking into account the sequence of return. And what I mean by that is that every year his thought is the stock market averages 10%. Well, it doesn't average 10% year after year. There's some ups and there's some downs, and the problem with his is that the 8% is a pretty good withdrawal rate, and those years where we have a bad year on the market, you're probably drawing down your retirement savings a lot quicker that way. So we can all think about that in terms of what we saw in the last 2 or 3 years. The stock market really tumbled and went down a couple years ago. And now it's back up and thriving well. So you're not going to have that 10% every year. Some years you may have more than that, and that's the gravy years, as I call them. But I don't think you can count on a 10% return each and every year out of the stock market. It's just not reasonable. So here's my plan, and I want people to jump in on this, because my plan is built for me, I think, but I've got some thoughts and reasoning behind why I'm doing this, but I want to hear other people's plans and their thoughts around these strategies and the strategy that I'm getting ready to describe for myself. So, as those that's watching my channel know, I'm retired. I've been retired for over 2 years now. My wife is still working. She's going to work for another 18 months to 2 years. So when she retires, that'll put me at 66 years old at that time, and she won't be eligible to draw from her accounts or draw Social Security at the time that we retire either, if she retires rather. So for 4 years, and I don't plan on taking Social Security until I'm 70. So in those 4 years of time there where I'm going to be drawing directly from my retirement account, we plan on withdrawing 7%. Now, I know that that's a larger percentage than people may think is good, but I've run this by our investment person. I've run it by my numbers. I've got tons of spreadsheets. I'm sort of a geek with that, and I've run my numbers through my spreadsheets, but also our financial advisor has okayed, I guess at this point, my plan, our plan, and how it will hold up. So from 66 to age 70, we'll withdraw 7. And then from there forward, we will probably drop our percentage down more closer to the 4%, 5% range when I start drawing Social Security. By waiting till 70, some of the trade-offs I've thought about, by waiting till 70, obviously my Social Security check will end up being higher than it is at 66. The thought there is that, you know, some of that depends on me taking Social Security when I do, depending on how the market's doing. If the market is in that pattern where it's doing well, I'll be better off to wait and start collecting Social Security. But if the market's in a downturn, it may be one of those things where I need to go ahead and start my Social Security and a little earlier than I'd planned, so I'm not drawing down during a bad couple of years or something that might be in the middle of all that. So I think that's the reasoning I'm using. I think you know, you also got to think about being flexible. So again, if I'm talking about if you know, in those for 66 to 70, if the stock market is down, maybe we'll adjust our percentage down to 4%. That's going to take away our fund money, as we characterize some extra money that we're planning on getting each month to travel and do some things like that. But we'll still have enough to cover, you know, our expenses, is the thought there. Another thing too to keep in mind that most of these budgeting strategies is based on a 30-year retirement. So when I start taking money out of my savings at 66, 30 years from that, I'll be 96. Now, I hope to goodness I'm still around and kicking and doing videos, but the odds are against that. And so that's another reason I feel comfortable with the plan we put forward. There's not going to be as many years of pulling from it as probably we'll need based on these budgeting strategies. So I hope today's video was helpful. Again, I hope that you will send your comments and tell me what you think. Also, I'd really love for you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. If you found something in here interesting, please give me the thumbs up. I could use all the help I can get. Small channel trying to grow. I'm hoping my videos will help some people out. And that's all any of us people making videos really hope for, is that we want to make sure that we're doing somebody getting a little bit of advice from us and using the experience that we put together to do that. So until next time, like I always say, and I still believe with all my heart, retirement is great.